Hello everyone, this is Fahim. Today we are going to create a very short project on Python. We are basically going to create a graph plotting project. So first of all, let me show you what we are going to build. You see this image, right? And you see that we have plotted a graph based on x and y coordinate. This horizontal line represents the x-axis and this vertical line represents the y-axis. Now you see this coordinate is 2, 2 because in the x-axis we have shifted to 2 position and in the y-axis we have also shifted to 2 positions. And if I consider about this coordinate, then here we have shifted x position from x-axis and it would be 3 position from the vertical one, that means y-axis. All right, so we are going to create this project, but I'm going to show you everything, starting from how you can create a new repository to host this project, how you can make the changes, how you can create this graph, how you can give the label, and so on. Now this is a very simple project, but we are going to learn so much and this would be very much exciting. All right, so without any further ado, let's get into it. So before doing anything else, I have to create a repository for hosting this project. So I have gone into my GitHub account and I can simply click this plus button here and I can click new repository because I want to create a new repository, as simple as that. All right. So new repository, I can give this repository a name. What I can give, let's say I want to give it something like graph plot. All right, this is available for me, so I can simply use that. This would be public repository and I can give it something like short, nope, it should be something like this: plot graphs using Python. I need to have a readme file and gitignore would be Python, and I can choose a license, let's say MIT license. Nope, I want to take the Apache license. That's it. And I can simply create this repository. So the repository has been created. Now I need to clone this repository to my local machine so that I can work on there. So I can simply click code and I can copy the SSH. Now before this thing, you have to make sure that you have connected your account with your local machine through SSH. All right. And then I can simply open my terminal. Let's say I want to create this clone in my documents. So documents git clone. It shouldn't take more. All right, the plot, and I can simply open my Visual Studio Code directly here. All right, so here I have the readme.md file. I can get a preview if I click here. This is the license, as you can see right here. This is the .gitignore file. All right, so I need to simply create a Python file. Let me simply name it something like script.py, but you can change the name obviously. Now I need to add the code. So for plotting graph, we need to use a specific plotting library of Python. Now for this project, I'm going to use the famous library matplotlib. All right. So matplotlib is basically a plotting library for the Python and its numerical mathematics extension NumPy. All right, so before doing anything, we have to install this matplotlib. Now if you have created a virtual environment using conda, you can simply install it using conda install matplotlib, but for the general purpose I can simply use pip, and you can also use pip if you want. So how you can install that, you can simply open any terminal and type pip install matplotlib and enter. So you see I have already installed it, so it's telling me that requirement already satisfied. But if you haven't installed it already, it would download some packages and it would simply install it for you. That's it, nothing else. All right, so if we want to work with matplotlib, we have to import that first so that Python interpreter can understand that, yeah, this file uses matplotlib. All right, so we can simply use import matplotlib, and let's say we can import sorry, we can import everything from matplotlib, but we don't necessarily need that, because we can complete our this short project using simple pyplot function of the matplotlib. So I can simply specify that, hey, I want to import pyplot from matplotlib. All right, and you see that this is a big string. So whenever I need to use it, I need to write the entire thing, matplotlib.pyplot, matplotlib.pyplot. And if this is a very big project, that might be very much confusing and hassling feature for me, right? So I can simply give it an alias. If you don't understand what is alias is, I'm not going to bore you with a big talk. So let me simply say it simply. Instead of writing this whole thing, matplotlib.pyplot, I can give it a short name. And if I use that short name, Python would automatically understands that, yeah, this short name exactly implies matplotlib.pyplot, and my process would be more simpler. All right. So let's say I'm going to name it something like PLT. So I'm telling him, hey, whenever I will use PLT, you should understand that I am indicating matplotlib.pyplot, as simple as that. You can change it in anything you want, but of course there are some restrictions. So let's say I can tell it import matplotlib.pyplot as Fahim. So whenever I call Fahim, it would understand that I am calling matplotlib.pyplot. All right. Not that I can simply use PLT, because this make sense relevant to it, and developers normally use this like this, but you can obviously change it. So now I need to provide the coordinate value. All right, let me provide the appropriate comment so that you can understand what I am doing. All right, importing matplotlib. All right, now I can provide our coordinates. All right, so let's say I am creating this and this x and for y, and I can simply provide the coordinates like this. So let's say if I want my coordinates like 5, 6, then let's say 1, 2, then let's say 6, 7, sorry, 6, 6, 7, then oops, then let's say 4, 8, then how I can represent them in the xy coordinate. So I have to separate them like this. From the first coordinate, the value for x is 5, so this would be 5. The second one is 1, then from here the x coordinate is 6, from here the x coordinate is 4, so 4 like this. And I need to do the same for the y coordinate. From here the y coordinate is 6, from here the y coordinate is 2, from here the y coordinate is 7, and from here the y coordinate is 8. Make sure that this matches, because this would plot the graph like this: 5, 6, 1, 2, 6, 7, 4, 8 sequentially. All right, and now we can simply plot this graph. So in that case, I can simply call this PLT. So plot the graph. How can I do that? I can simply call this matplotlib, but matplotlib.pyplot like this. But you see that this is getting bigger, so I can simply call this PLT. PLT.plot. And I need to provide the coordinate x, y. All right. X, y. This basically takes x, y, but as my variables are also x, y, so this matches. Now, if I simply run this, it won't show you anything, because to show you visually we have to use plot.show. But all right, let me write down that as well. So show the plot or graph, we can simply call plt.show. That's it. Now if I simply run it, you see that it has plotted the graph. Now this doesn't look good. I mean, this is fine, don't get me wrong, this is fine, but the coordinate is something like this and it doesn't look good. So we can simply refine our coordinates. All right, let's say we can take something like 2 comma 2, then let's say 4 comma 6, and let's say 5 comma 7, let's say 7 comma 10, like this. So we need to, yeah, I know that I have changed the comment, but this won't get applied here until we change this as well. So let me change it to 4, 5 and 7, and this would be 2 comma 6 comma 7 comma 10. Let me simply run it again. Yeah, this looks kind of good. And when we hover our cursor, you see that it's telling us the exact value of x and y coordinate. Now here this is 2 comma 2, you see 2 comma 2 and 4 comma 6, right? So for here we are getting 4 comma 6. All right, and here we are getting 5 comma 7, and here we are getting 7 comma 10. All right, now this graph is kind of okay, but when anyone else sees this graph, they don't have any idea of what we are representing in the x coordinate and the y coordinate, and what actually this graph actually represents. Without its level, it is difficult to understand, right? So we can simply add those parameters as well. I can simply close it and let me write something here. So I can give the level on the graph. So let's say I am telling it the label for the x-axis or the vertical axis would be x-axis, and I can do the same thing for the y-axis, or you can say the vertical axis. So y level, let me call it something like y-axis. Let's see. So you see the labeling has been added. This is x-axis, this is y-axis. That is cool, but one more thing is still missing. What actually this graph represents, like, right? I mean, if we want to plot a weather graph, then shouldn't we write here something like weather graph? Let's do it. So how can we do this? We can simply give a title. So title for the plot, or you can say graph. How we can do that? Simple, plot dot title. So we can tell it something like graph project using Python. All right, now if we simply run this, you see it's appearing here, graph project using Python. Now everything looks okay. So basically, let's say you are plotting something weather graph, so you need to put here weather graph or something like that. You see where I'm going, right? And whenever you are hovering using your cursor, you see the x and y coordinates, and you can also save the figure if you simply click here save. And let's say I'm going to save it using my document graph plot, and let's say I can create a new folder image and I can simply save it here. And here you see the graph as well. Now obviously you can save the plot using a simple line of code. Let me also show you that. Let's say if we want to save the image automatically without us downloading that manually, so we can use something like this: save the graph or plot as a png file. All right, so I can simply call plt save fig, and I can give it a name. The name would get applied to the file name. So let me simply give it like graph.png. All right, let's see whether it works or not. Currently I don't have anything here as graph.png, but if this works, I should have a new file named graph.png. Let's see. You see instantly I also have graph.png, and this is the graph. So that's how it goes. So this is a very simple project that we have built together using Python. But I hope you have learned something important, and if this helps you, don't forget to subscribe to this channel to get this type of amazing content. And you can follow me in GitHub, GitLab, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'll be available in all of the platform, and I would also make sure to insert the link in the video description as well. So that's it. And yeah, I have forgot to push the changes in the GitHub repository. Make sure that you have edited the README file, and I would also try to make it attractive, and whenever you go to the GitHub repository that I will be linked, I will provide the link in the video description. You'd get how I customized this README. Make sure you do the same to make your project attractive. Now I can obviously add all of the files, all of the change one by one, but as this is a very simple project, I can simply commit all of them all together. Git commit, sorry, message at the complete project, git push, as I have only one branch. So that's it. Yeah, all of them are here. So make sure you start this repository. You can fork it to keep a copy on your GitHub account, and make sure to make any changes or make it more beautiful in your way. All right, so that's it for today. See you again tomorrow, maybe, or maybe in another video. Till then, goodbye.